Hi, this is Liz from learnluxembourgish.com. Today we're looking at passive voice in Luxembourgish. Specifically, how do you turn those active voice phrases into passive voice phrases? Let's get started. If you're watching this video thinking, what is the passive voice? What is she even talking about? Don't worry, we're going to explain what the active and passive voice is first with an English example. To understand this concept, you do need some knowledge of basic grammatical concepts, which you will find in the Learn Luxembourgish book, which I'll post the link to buy it online from in the description box below. We are starting off with a simple sentence in English, I make pasta, where I is the subject, make is the verb in the present tense, and pasta is the object. What do I make? I make pasta. Now we're doing a little switcheroo, turning this active voice sentence into a passive voice sentence, where we're starting with pasta as the object, then the verb is made, where is of course to be, and the past participle of make turning into made. Pasta is made by me, so by plus the subject. As so often with language, active and passive voices is not about what is right and what is wrong. It is more so about the meaning you want to convey, the emphasis you want to add. In the active voice, the subject of the sentence performs the action. The emphasis is on the I and what have I been doing. In the passive voice, the emphasis is more on the action itself, so the subject becomes less important. The subject becomes passive. This principle is the same in both Luxembourgish and English. Let's look at a Luxembourgish example sentence now. Using the Luxembourgish sentence, ich mache Nudeln, where ich is the subject, machen is the verb in the present tense, and Nudeln is the object of the sentence. Wat mache ich? Ich mache Nudeln. To turn it into a passive sentence, we're starting with the object Nudeln. Sie für mir gemacht. Sie is of course the verb sind in the present tense. Für mir is von plus subject in the dative case, that's the mir, and gemacht is the past participle of the verb machen. So you see the word order changes a little bit in Luxembourgish. We put the past participle gemacht at the end of the sentence. And the für mir part, für mir, is actually optional. You could leave it out altogether, and then it would just obscure the subject sentence even more. Let's stick with für mir for just another second. Für mir, von mir. The N at the end of von drops because of the N rule, depending of course on the sound that comes next. So we say für mir, not von euch, because von is one of those prepositions always requiring the dative case. So mir is what we call a personal pronoun in the dative case. What do these actually look like? In the first person singular, in the nominative case, it's ich. In the accusative case, it's mich. In the dative case, it's mir. After von, after the preposition von, we would focus on the orange column on the right here, which is all the dative case. And so we have mir, dir, him, hier, him, eis, ihr, hinnen. So the sentence we saw before, ich mache Nudeln, and then in the passive voice, Nudeln sind für mir gemacht, that is a type of passive that we could call the passive of result, because we want to focus on the result that the pasta has been made. There are other kinds of passive voice in Luxembourgish, and which one you use really depends on what you want to say. I've brainstormed another few examples here just to briefly illustrate the different kinds of passive voices we have. The sentence is: the Pashert mischt mir a Protokoll. The Pashert is the traffic warden and the Protokoll is a ticket. So in the result passive we've seen, this sentence turns to a Protokoll aus Gemach with the auxiliary verb sind. Then there is other kinds of passive voices. If we want to underline the process of writing the ticket itself, we would use the auxiliary verb gehen, and the sentence turns to a Protokoll aus Gemach gehen. And then if we want to underline the beneficiary of the action, we would say ich kriege ein Protokoll gemacht using the auxiliary kriegen, or we could obfuscate the actor, the doer, so in this case the traffic warden, even further and turn this sentence into het get mir a Protokoll gemacht. The one thing you really have to pay attention to when you're turning sentences from active to passive voice, no matter which type we're talking about, is the fact that you have to keep the tense of your main verb the same. If you watched this video until this point, I really feel like you deserve a pat on the back. Well done. I know this was grammar heavy, but you made it. Thank you so much for being here with me. And don't forget to check out our Luxembourgish courses by going to www.learnluxembourgish.com. And I'll see you in the next video. Adi!